moving through the system will cause us not to be successful in the future. I think it is one of the major impediments to holding us back. So what does that mean? I think it means a redesigned pre-service experience for our teachers. I think the survivors in higher education, would be interesting to see a conversation we would have about this, Dr. King. But I do believe that we're going to have to realize that teachers can come from multiple backgrounds and multiple experiences, and that when they do so, they don't have to go through a same program that everyone else goes through. So I believe the future program will be more individualized. It will recognize a prospective teacher's background, that will assess those skills and run them through a more individualized program of pre-service before they get into teaching. And I think those programs will be much more directed and interactive with the districts and the schools. And I think there will be needs to be a much stronger process of direct engagement with students throughout that learning process. I think that also our professional development is one that we need to get a handle on. I tried to do that, but we don't have a very good idea of what's happening with professional development. It is the second largest expenditure beyond personnel cost in the system, and we ought to be able to figure out what results we're getting out of that, but really we don't. I think the truth is, unless Dr. Holliday has done some good work since I was here, the words we use to describe professional development are not precise enough. We don't have a clear idea about what an intervention produces in terms of teacher behavior and results, and we certainly don't have any connection to student learning out of those experiences. But given all of that, we have to move away from generalized professional development to content-specific professional development. We have to move to a point where, let me just step back and say, this is a gross exaggeration, but not too much. Here's what we say to teachers once you enter a classroom. Congratulations, you're a teacher. We expect as a part of your professional development that you grow and you take increased professional development. You're going to be advanced in your career because you take courses in college or you put in time in the school. Those are going to be the two criteria. We're going to ask you to go back and go to school. And when do we want you to do that? Well, after school is a good time to start, when you're tired, and on weekends if you can't do it during the school day. We're going to ask you to go to a place away from the school and take a predetermined course of work out of the context of the school you're teaching. And we're going to ask you to pay for it yourself. We would never design that system if we were thinking about doing this right. What we need in the future is a system where teachers are determining the needs of that individual teacher and the needs of the school based on student information, rich databases about where students are against the instructional goals we have for them. That teacher needs to have an individual growth plan in the context of that school environment. That teacher needs an ability to work on that plan while in the classroom. Teachers need to see themselves as applied researchers, not as consumers of somebody else's knowledge and expertise. And in that process, those teachers need to be thinking about what they can do to increase their own skill and knowledge and to enhance student learning. Those teachers need, in that process, to directly link to the resource base that the universities provide, both in terms of research and in terms of guidance and coaching. And those teachers need, in that process, to get college credit for what they're doing. That means a very different set of courses, a different role for universities to play in all this. I think until we get this kind of an image of professional growth, we are the only profession that's held on to this kind of linear process of growth and development for our teachers. So, other than that, I don't have any ideas about what I would do in terms of changing workforce. All right. I think you're up on this, but I think the real power on this idea of important information systems. We're moving away from data capacity. I would hope that Kentucky is at a point now where we have gotten through building systems, the technological capacity of the systems. We're beginning to think about what are we going to do with the information coming out of those systems, and how are we going to aggregate it in a way. But I think the real frontier for all of us is helping educators use information much more directly and reporting it back to the public in a very transparent and open way so that everybody knows the direct result of what we're doing. But we are in the process right now of trying to link all of the states together into a longitudinal database. We will have this summer a set of common data standards that will allow us to compare information across all states. We will begin to put up a platform of learning that would begin with its implementation at the student level for the school and for the district, but would peel out of that system the important information that could be made for states and for the nation. We can see a